Welcome back to this episode of Money Talks with Lisa Drennan. Yep, that's me. We're all about talking with money, dating money, crushing on money. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to date money, right? So today we have the beautiful Roni Travis. She is an amazing, we're going to call her a health and fitness coach, but you know what? She's way more than that. She's actually my health and fitness coach. And, I've worked with tons, I can't even count that high, of how many programs I've gone through. And I have to say, she is the most intriguing because when I first started working with her, not only did she tell me I can cut back from working out from 6 days to 3 days, but I could eat whatever I want. Yeah. Okay. You heard me right. Let me say that again. I could eat whatever I want. Totally changed my thought process. And then she got me eating salads. Okay. Yeah, I liked salads, but it wasn't my go-to. Now I actually crave the things and I actually eat vegetables and do all these crazy roasted things with them, and they taste really, really good. So thank you, Roni, for sharing that magic with me, who had all kinds of excuses and stories. So thank you for sharing this space and your money story. Like, we all have a story that we tell ourselves, right? And we relate this so well with fitness. That I like to say, like, we're financially fit, but being fit, right? And so when you're an entrepreneur, right? You used to have a 9 to 5, but thinking about like why you got into this, what drove you into thinking, like, what was your first initial reaction? Like, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 to do what?
Well, basically it was just the thing of, like most entrepreneurs, that freedom buzzword, right? And I mean, when you're working in fitness, you're working in a gym, you have to work very hard to just get by. Like, the gym takes the majority of the money. And I was like working, like I would work, sometimes I'd be at the gym 13 hours a day. I was exhausted. I had no life. And like, I loved what I was doing. I loved helping people, but it wasn't worth it. Like, here I was sacrificing my own health and well-being to help other people with theirs. And I had just kind of like been interested in working online. And when COVID happened, it actually gave me a little practice, because all of my clients were messaging me. They're like, Roni, can you help me somehow? So I kind of created an online program accidentally to help people. And then once I realized I could and the gyms reopened, it was just a matter of time before I was like, see you later. I can't do this anymore. It was my values, because like you said, I do things differently, right? With my business and the way I think about food and nutrition. So I didn't really always align with the gym's values, and there was a lot of clashing going on there. So it was the thing of, I wanted to do it on my own time and in my own way and just help people on a different level. So here we are now. It's been about 2.5 years. So
I love that. Yeah, I mean, just taking that risk. You're like Gary the gambler. He's one of my 7 money personalities on the money dating game. And you're like, you have to gamble. You have to take that risk. You have to believe in yourself. And when we think about money as a person, I love to personify money, and thinking about your earliest childhood memory, like, when was the first time you actually held money and received money? And what was that feeling like?
So what's funny is, I remember being a kid, and like my Christmas, birthdays, we always got money, and I would hold it for about a second before my mom would snatch it up and put it into our savings account. So my earliest memories about money was like, I just want it, but I can't, like, I just, I wanted to have it in my hands. I wanted to buy stuff. And I just, like, I don't even remember, like, she was doing it before I remember, right? Obviously from when I was a baby, which, yeah, like when I went to college, it was great because I had a whole fund and all of these things, but like, it definitely affected, it still affects, like, that story still comes up of needing to save and save and save. So it's, we'll get into it more, but it's definitely something that's affected me a lot, right? Is that, like, my earliest memories, like my brother and I, until we were 18, my mom would, like, any money that we got from birthdays, it was like, nope, it's going into your savings. So that
100% into savings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a great way to become a millionaire as a kid.
Yeah.
Depending on how much money you received and the interest rate on the account and all. But yeah, that feeling of having it snatched away and put away. I mean, if money was a person and they're like, well, wait a minute, I'm her gift. Like, well, hey, I'm supposed to hang out with her. I don't want to go over there in that nasty old vault. What's going to happen over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And just that, having that desire to want to spend it. So what happened after you got to control all of the money that you received? What did you find yourself doing?
Honestly, not a lot, right? Like, so I got a job very young so that I could have my own money, right? So I got a job at a restaurant. I started out like bussing tables and all the things. And I moved up to being a waitress and on and on. And it got to the point where I put my like check in the bank, and all of my tips was like my fun money. But it was like I had a hard time spending money because I was like, oh, I need to save it. Like that was just like what I saw I should do. So I would like, every once in a while I would save up, and I bought myself an iPod, right? When iPods came out, I bought myself a computer. Like I would save it up and buy a big thing. But like it was just a lot of hoarding, right? Like not wanting to let it go.
Well, I like that you mentioned hoarding because we have Harry the Hoarder, and he's all about hoarding and hanging on to things for sentimental reasons, for habits, for whatever reason. And, we sometimes we look at hoarding as a bad thing, but it's good to have that balance. And like when we value something and we can invest in something that we know is tangible and we're going to have it for a long time, and investing in something that's of quality, right? So, it's not too bad of a rap to be a hoarder, right? But if you think about that constant cycle of save, 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 so that's unusual of the general population. Of all the years that I've been in the finance and insurance industry, there's no savers out there. So you would connect very well with Sam the saver. He loves to save money. He loves to get great bargains, good deals. And, he's a little shy about splurging, unlike Sal the spender. So I'm wondering if you think about that, the saving personality that's in you, that's ingrained to you. So do you have $1 million hanging around in the bank?
No, like but the fun, like, as I spend on little things, right? Like, and all those little things add up. And I mean, I don't like, I've been getting better recently, like, especially since getting to know you and like just absorbing everything that you put out. And funny enough, like my mom and has also kind of been working in the coaching industry and like getting involved and realizing that, oh shit, like we shouldn't have been saving all this time. Like we get to spend it and let it flow. So, like I do have quite a bit saved up, but no, I'm not a millionaire yet. But it's funny, like I have been getting into saving more. And it was like when I kind of moved, like I was like, I moved away from my parents, and then I decided to start spending all my money like crazy. So, maybe there was that like
Broke free.
yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, they're not close. They can't even affect me now. So that I kind of, splurged a little, but I'm working on finding that balance now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that thing of like, why am I saving up all this money if I'm not ever going to use it? Right. Like, what? I was kind of got into that thing of like, what's the point? So, yeah, not quite a millionaire yet, but working on it.
Yeah, and with your talents, you definitely will get there before you know it. But it is so important. You mentioned having that balance, and keeping that in. And so many entrepreneurs will pour all of their income back into their business and not really enjoy it. And they won't implement a money management system. So they have this goal of 6 or 7 figures, but then they have nothing to show for it. And that's a really sad place to be, right? And when you think about, if money is your partner, what would your partner look like if money was you were married to money and you were doing all the things? Describe that for us.
Um, it's it's I would like to think it'd be like the swanky, like like rich guy, but like that's not really my personality, right? It's more casual, and like just kind of like adventurous, like
Mhm.
fun, dependable, loyal, honest, always there for me when I need it, but like willing to go on an adventure, right? Willing to have fun and do all of the things. And yeah, like kind of like I said, back to that balance, right? Of like wanting to do the things, but not reckless, right? Like not going and like being a crazy person, but just always kind of there for me, supporting me, loving me. And again, that reciprocal energy of like me getting to love it and being able to enjoy time and yeah, just kind of getting the most out of things. And like I said, but like that dependability and like trust is a very key part
Yeah,
of the relationship.
I love that. And yeah, a lot of times we look at money and we think it needs to buy all this stuff and have all these things like houses and cars and all these things, right? Now, I know a lot of very wealthy people who have 4 or 5 houses. It's like, what do you need 4 or 5 houses for? Like, I'm a millionaire. I only want one house. I don't want all the responsibility, of all these other houses. And I don't really want to go to the same place back and forth. I want to experience the world. And to me, that's what wealth is about. It's experiencing the world and the things that it has to offer and being able to help others. You know, like when you can give that reciprocal energy of giving and receiving, it opens up this pathway. So in your experience with money as an adult, you talked about moving away from your parents and all of a sudden you're a spender, you're splurging on all of these things because why do you think that was?
I think it was just because like, all of that pent up energy of like not doing it for so long. And like part of it too was I was like really learning, like getting into the coaching industry and getting coaches. And it was like, my one coach, he always used to say, like, you have to let it flow. Like you can't hold on to money. You got to like, keep it in circulation and all these things. And I wasn't like, I was trying to spend it and do like, just do all the things. But also when I moved out here, I like, made friends and met a boy and all the things. And it was like, I wasn't really working when I moved here. I had money saved up, but I didn't want to seem like I was being cheap, right? Like I didn't want to miss out. And there's so much to do and see out here. So it was like, I just wanted to, basically I was trying to live the part before I was. Like I would say yes to dinners and yes to things and yes to going out and doing all the stuff. And like, just because I had never treated myself too, it felt good. Right. So then once I started, it was like, this is pretty fun. I don't really want to stop now.
Yeah. And getting out of balance because now you're the saver and then all of a sudden you're like the spender and just they need to come together and just kind of hang out and be like, okay, we can do both things. We can have fun with finances and still save for, for whatever the earmarked thing is, right? The goal. I like to call them our bucket list, right? We all have the goal set for, fitness. Like we want to lose X amount of pounds. We want to eat healthy. We want to get a stronger body, get muscle tone, get cut, get all that. But the same thing with finances. You want to have financial goals. Like, what, if you could experience anything you could want, what would be on your bucket list when it comes to money for like the next 12 months? What would you want to accomplish?
Well, what's funny is I was just having this conversation this morning, setting some money goals, and friends of ours are in Greece right now. They're on their honeymoon, and like they posted, they were in this beautiful like cave hotel thing, and it was just beautiful. And I wanted to go for. I've been saying Greece for a long time, right? I've been talking about going, and I've just like it's been kind of on my radar, and like I want to save up, and I want to go, and I want to go for like a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and stay in all of these nice places. And I figure with all of that, it'll probably be 20, 30 grand.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that is kind of the big kind of goal, like fun money goal that I'm saving up for right now.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a beautiful experience. And I know a lot of people that have traveled to that area and have seen gorgeous pictures. And yeah, definitely do it now, right? It's just so many people will say, well, that's a goal for when I retire or when my business gets to X amount of dollars or when I do this. But as as you grow in your business to seven figures, as you're doing all the things, you can still enjoy those experiences. And that's like, just like, how it takes little baby steps to form and shape your body and to be healthy. It's the same thing with your finances, right? So I absolutely love that. If you could say anything to money and money would respond, what would you say and how would money respond?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, Honestly, I would apologize um, for just being so shitty to it. Like I have just always like kind of like I've always obviously wanted money, but kind of resented it. Right. And even when I did get it, I like took it, I would take it for granted or I wouldn't appreciate it. So honestly, like I would apologize to money and money would be like, girl, it's okay. We got you. We understand you were learning. Like, let's do this now. So that would be the conversation I would have with it.
I love that. I love that answer. That's awesome. So tell us more about your fitness business, your health. It's not really health fitness. We're gonna come up with a fancy name someday, right?
So I have a few different programs going on right now, but my flagship program is the one that you're in, right? So it is 6 months of everything. Yes, you get your fitness. Yes, you get your nutrition, and you can attest to this, the big difference is in the mindset, right?
Mhm.
In the lifestyle changes. It's in the way we think about food and our bodies. It's in the way we speak about ourselves. And that is like, I've kind of transitioned into this thing where I don't just do fitness anymore, because I've learned that people can lose a bunch of weight, they can do all the workouts, they can eat perfectly, but if you don't change the way you think and feel about yourself, then nothing really changes. So I have a few different options. Like I have a lower ticket program that I've created that's 6 weeks, and it's just to kind of get you started and get you into it. But I mean, as well as I do, especially in, the financial world, that like, you really want big lasting results, you get to make that big investment. And of course, like, it's not just like big financially, it's like investing in yourself every single day for 6 months, right? Because when you can do that, you go through so much life, and that's when real change happens, right? We were kind of talking about it, I think it was last week on our coaching call, but about when you do something for that period of time, it allows you to have birthdays, to have holidays, to get sick and do all of these things, and realize that like the real goal of health and fitness isn't to be perfect. It's to like create a new lifestyle, become a new version of you. And that's really what my program is designed to do, is to help you become the person, right? Become the person who loves her body, who feels good. Yeah, I want you to look sexy, right? I want you to look good. I want you to feel amazing. But I want you to really like see yourself differently, so that you just are that person, right? You nourish your body because you want to, but you still eat ice cream, right?
Yeah.
You work out a couple days a week because it feels good, but you don't feel the need to force yourself to be in a gym 6 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've got going on right now. Is it's just a little bit, a little bit of everything in there, but it's just really about that whole person, and really just transforming your whole life from the inside out.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, your program is the best. It's one of the best programs I've been in. And I got to tell you, I've been in a lot. So what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, on social media, of course, is easy. On Instagram and TikTok, I am Roni, Roni_Travis. I have a Facebook group. I can give you the link to the Facebook group, and then
Yeah.
you can put it in the show notes. And yeah, just kind of finding me on social media is the best, because it gives you a little bit of a glimpse of also like who I am, right? Like when my clients join, I want to make sure they feel comfortable, and that they're like, yeah, this is really who, like the person for me. And just, to see that I am a human, and that I, I practice what I preach, I live my life, and I do all the things.
Yep.
And yeah, like connect with me. I am always active on my social media. So if you have any questions or you just want to chat, my DMs are always open.
Awesome. And at this point in the show, I always ask my guests to showcase a talent or a gift that they have. So what do you have for us?
A talent or a gift. You know what? The one gift that I was literally just saying, it's like the greatest gift you can give yourself is looking yourself in the mirror, and just looking yourself in the eye and thinking of something you truly love about yourself. It is like, literally, if I could bottle up that feeling and sell it, I would. And if I could deliver it to like shelters all over the world, then I would love to do that. But I can't. So this is my method of doing that. So I would say, the gift is just to go look yourself in the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and like feel that love and compassion for yourself, and just think of something you really love about yourself. And it's really powerful if you can say your name, right? So I'd be like, Roni, I love this. Roni, I am proud of you for this. And just, do that every single day if you can. And it'll really, it'll change your life.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Trust me, I know. I've been doing it when you told me to do it.
Yeah.
When you said you have homework, I'm like, yeah, I love homework.
Yeah.
What's the challenge? That's awesome. And what just the parting words of wisdom for our audience?
I would just, Lisa, you know this, but like you are the best investment you could ever make. And,
Mhm.
like, yes, invest in yourself financially. Yes, do the things that you want to do. But remember that like this body is the only body you get. So take care of it, right? Treat it with love. And remember that your body is not the enemy, right? Your body is your friend. Your body is doing everything it can to keep you alive. So, treat it with love, and watch your body and the way you think about it change.
I love that. That is so beautiful. Very powerful words. Well, thank you so much, Roni, for being here, for sharing your space, your beautiful energy, and your words of wisdom, and your story, your money journey story. I mean, it's really powerful. And for those of you tuning in, please give some love to the show. Be sure to subscribe, rate, post some comments below. And if you know someone who needs it, I mean, who doesn't need to hear this? Please share it with them, tag them, and be sure to, again, subscribe. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you have a money story, we all have a money story, just send me a direct message. We'll get you on the show. And remember, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's what you do with it.